Joining me right now, Schwab Network's Sam Vadas is here.
Yes, Synopsys are moving to the downside in a big way this morning. And Nicole, down over 30% in trade today off the back of missing expectations on its report card. So it earned an adjusted $3.39 a share on sales of $1.74 billion, worse than the street had anticipated, also providing softer guidance than what the street had been modeling. So as far as what the company has been saying, it did say that it was a transformational quarter. They talked about a challenging geopolitical backdrop. They did, of course, close the Ansys acquisition, also looking to expand their portfolio. But they did say very much that it was the IP business that underperformed expectations. We are taking actions, they say, to enhance our competitive advantage and drive resilient long-term growth. So it all sounds good, but they very much said that the Q3 strength in design automation was offset by the weakness in that design IP. And they are taking a more sort of conservative view to the current quarter now off the back of that, given some of the headwinds. They do believe, though, that they could be, down to a few setbacks. They named 3 reasons behind why they've seen this. Export restrictions on China, challenges to a big foundry customer, but also other moves that didn't bear fruit. So on the China part, they did say that some of the export controls had caused customers to hesitate on long-term investments, impacting collaboration plans. On the foundry business, the customer that had some challenges there, they did say that they had invested substantial resources to develop IP for this customer, so no doubt hitting a bit of a snag there. And then also with regards to not bearing fruit on some of the other moves that they had made. They did say that some delays in progress on legacy IP projects had been a setback as well. So on the China part, it's interesting because they did say that they anticipate the headwinds in China to continue. It's not just a Q3 issue, but as I said, they also have this acquisition of Ansys in July after getting the green light from China, expanding the portfolio, even though that has faced other antitrust scrutiny in places like the UK. This is the first report since that acquisition. So they seem to be quite positive on that. But yes, there are some other headwinds with regards to the business.
All right, should we turn our attention over to GameStop, which actually, thank you for Synopsys, right now, GameStop, the original meme stock,
yes,
now the Bitcoin stock, and has been doing well with its hoarding of cash, right?
It has been, yes, it is up today. The meme stock OG, as you say, sitting up 4.5% higher today off the back of what was a Q2 earnings beat. So that cleared the bar as far as some of the expectations here. Strong second quarter results from GME. GameStop, net sales rising to $972.2 million. That was from $798 a year earlier, so that easily beat Wall Street's estimates. Earnings per share came in at 25 cents ahead of 16 cents, which was what had been expected. Net income jumping to $168.6 million compared to just $14.8 million the same quarter last year. Now, what drove that as far as the segment performance? Well, it was largely down to hardware and accessories, which saw it was up 140 or so percent. Hardware and accessories in GameStop's biggest revenue drivers. So that was very much what drove that. Collectibles also raked in higher revenues as well. So the software made up the smaller portion of GameStop's revenue. So that was the mix. But just remembering also the quarter including the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2 as well, which was released back in June. And they said that this was the best-selling console in June and July and had surpassed 2 million units sold in the US by August the 2nd. So as Nicole also mentioned, they're moving into Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin holdings valued at $528.6 million at the close of the second quarter. So, that's an interesting part. But yeah, quite a recovery here as far as we've seen with regards to GameStop. I mean, it's still under pressure, suffice to say, year to date, but it has ticked up higher off the back of this earnings.
Oh yeah, I mean, you make a great point, Sam. I mean, it's still been a crazy chart this year. I mean,
yeah.
The high point was $35. It's at $24. It's not for the faint of heart. Well said. What about Novo Nordisk as we talk about GLP-1s and what's been going on and some cost cutting that they've had to do?
Yes, cost cutting to free up some some of that extra cash to reallocate into what you're talking about with regards to the weight loss, obesity and diabetes drugs as well. Shares under a little bit of pressure this morning. Interesting because I believe we had seen an initial gain in the pre-market off the back of that because of the fact that maybe investors were encouraged by the fact that they're going to be reducing the workforce as part of this restructuring. This is 9,000 jobs at 12% of its global workforce to shift resources into other parts of the business, diabetes and weight loss, as it needs to very much compete in this market. The rapid scaling we've seen over the last few years from this company has come with hefty costs. So there are 78,400 jobs. They plan to reduce this headcount by 9,000, of about 5,000 of that expected in Denmark, looking to free up $1.26 billion, the money reallocated into commercial execution initiatives and R&D programs. That will all start straight away. But yes, the stock has come under pressure recently, Nicole, and that has been largely two reasons driving that. Obviously, we've seen this really tough competition coming from its rival Eli Lilly, particularly in the whole weight loss space. I mean, Novo was really seen as the first mover in this space, but there has been competition for that market share. And the other thing that has been driving sentiment around this stock has been some of the compounding as well, the copycats. And, you know, I've been talking to analysts who have suggested that they really need to address that as far as the knockoffs in this space in order to see a little bit more conviction here as far as the street is concerned with this stock.
There was so much excitement about pharma, healthcare, all this for 2025, and I still have guests who come on and say, now it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But the group has really just been under pressure overall.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, you know, we've seen over recent weeks and months developments around Wegovy has been giving it a little bit of a shot in the arm, for lack of a better phrase. Lately, you know, we see the shares up every time we hear from this trial data, you know, and also the fact that it's going to be included with regards to FDA approval to treat liver disease. So you get these sort of like incremental kind of updates that do provide a big boost. But long term, I think, you know, people are looking to, you know, clear the path as far as the challenges from the competition and also the compounding.
Well, we have a lot of excitement here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange with Klarna. This is a name that people have been waiting for this IPO for years. I mean, I'd say 2 years we've been waiting on Klarna.
That's right.
And here it is.
Yeah, finally. It's all very pink here. And it's really interesting. I know we're wearing the wrong color today. Diane is in the right shade. Actually, Diane and I were looking this up as to why it might be pink and appealing maybe to females. It does look like it's a 60-40 split in terms of women versus men with regards to the customer base here, Klarna. But Swedish buy now, pay later company IPOing here at the New York Stock Exchange today after it revived its IPO plans. As Nicole mentioned there, we have been waiting for this for some time. It did put this on ice earlier this year after volatility around the April tariff uncertainty, but yes, it is back in focus now. This obviously was once Europe's most valuable private tech company. It had a valuation high of $46 billion back in 2021. It slid to $6.7 billion in 2022, but pricing the IPO at $40 a share, an offering that values the company at about $15 billion and says it's raised about $1.37 billion in this US IPO. So yes, we can definitely feel the excitement down here, and there's a candy machine over there which I'm going to go to next, even though it is early in the morning.
Yeah, and we'll get you a look here as it begins to open as well. We'll have a live look from the New York Stock Exchange. Vadas, thank you.